Hi, my name is Mike Jasper, and this is the video series for the React Stack Bootcamp training. Welcome. What we're going to be learning in this training is ES6, React, Redux, and then overviewing the starter kit and the tools that we use. So how we're going to try and accomplish this is with short training sections with hand-on activities, a few slides sprinkled in there, and some light reading. So for the on-site or the in-class learners, we'd follow this schedule. Each day covering a different topic, JavaScript, React, Redux, and the starter kit, and then finishing up with an app lab. Obviously in this video series, you can adjust this to how you'd like to break up your time. So if you wanted to try and do it in a full week, it's possible. That's how it's done when it's presented live, but you're certainly welcome to adapt this to your own circumstances. So with that, let's get started. All right, go ahead and click on this link to follow ip.ldschurch.org. It's the integration point website. In the search box at the top, search for React. And it's the second link there, the React Stack Bootcamp training. So each of the training sections and modules is outlined in this kind of curriculum outline. If you'd like to give feedback, there's a link at the top to give us some feedback to help us improve on the training. So there are some prerequisites that you should have. You'll need a basic understanding of JavaScript fundamentals. You'll need Node, at least Node 6 and NPM or higher. You'll need LDS.js, which is a command line tool, and we'll walk through how to install that if you don't have that installed, and the React and Redux Chrome dev extensions. So with that, let's do a little introduction into CodePen, which is our editor or our environment that we're going to do a lot of this training. So go ahead on the introduction, number 2, Hello World CodePen. So CodePen, if you haven't used it before, is an online editor or an online REPL. You can enter HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then that will be evaluated and the result displayed on the screen. So all of the content for this training course is in CodePen, or most of the content, where you can modify and write code yourself and experiment and then see whatever you write live evaluated on the screen. So just a quick overview of CodePen. At the top there are a few buttons. Save. If you've logged in, you'll have a fork button, a settings, and a change view. If you'd like to have your editor windows on a different side of the screen, you can go to the left, the top, or the right. I highly recommend that you create an account if you don't have one yet. That'll allow you to save copies of all of the content and all of the code you write into your own personal CodePen account, where you can keep and reference for as long as you like. So this is our kind of a Hello World CodePen. So here's an example of a code example right here. We'll have a lot of these that we'll see in the next videos. If you'd like to log data, you can use console.log just as you would in any other environment. To view the log, there's a console button at the bottom of the CodePen window. So if you click that, it'll open up this console window where you can make that full screen or take that down to half screen. You can evaluate code in here. So if we type this var a equals 3 and run that, there you go, there's our result undefined. Now if we evaluate a, it comes out with 3, which is what you'd expect. So you can also do that in the built-in browser console if you'd like. There are some situations where the browser console is a little more performant than the one here, but the CodePen console works really well for most things. So code that we enter is automatically executed if we enter or change code. It's possible, however, to turn automatic execution of code off. For example, if you're working with networking or doing like an API or a fetch request, you may want to turn that off so you're not constantly making a network request every single keystroke. So let's see, a brief aside about future JavaScript and the JavaScript we're going to write. So browsers are continuously adding support for new JavaScript features. If you'd like to check the current compatibility, here's a link to that. I'm not going to go into compatibility. As videos age, the compatibility will only get better. But to use our modern and future JavaScript syntax in the present, we're going to use a compiler, Babel, which will convert that future syntax of JavaScript to backwards compatible ES5 code. So for an example of Babel, we can click here. So this is an example of Babel, and at this time, all these features are supported. So if we wanted to go ahead and look at this, what this would look like in an older version, we could go to transpile it back to ES 2015 code, which would then get rid of the arrow function and have this full function. So that's Babel. Babel's turned on all CodePen activities in all these CodePens, so you don't have to worry about running Babel. And Babel is also a tool that's built into our starter kit. So it runs behind the scenes. It's part of a build step in the starter kit, and it runs automatically on all code here in CodePen. Activities. So almost every CodePen has an activity section. It's this box here with yellow, and the activities are times and little challenges to practice to see if we can do what we just learned about. So this is our CodePen Hello World activity, and so we just want to make sure we have the environment set up. So let's go ahead and do this activity to make sure we've got everything set up correctly. That's the purpose of Hello Worlds, after all. Hello World, make sure everything is working properly by logging a value. Ensure this value appears in the CodePen console or your browser's JavaScript console. So to do that, open up your console and log a value by putting it there or by putting it in this JavaScript tab here. So this would be a good time to pause to do that. Okay, so to log a value here, let's see variable A, or let's see variable hello equals world console.log hello. There you go. Everything's working as we'd expect. So if everything was working for you, let's go ahead and move to the next section.